as I was saying, we're going to do a state park sticker contest, and these stickers are pretty small. They're only roughly about 2 inches from top to bottom. I'd say 2.5, 3. They're pretty small. So whatever you do, it has to be something you can tell what it is from a distance. Okay. This is the current winner right now. This is the one for 2021. So you'll be designing the sticker now, but it'll be for 2022. Okay. This was not from our school. This was from another school. And these were some from our school. We happened to get an honorable mention, who happened to be my daughter. So I'm proud of her. She did a nice job. This was hers of a person riding a bicycle. And these are some other entries from last year, which I think they're pretty good. I like them. Do you have any, if you were the one on the right, what would you say about the one on the right? Is there any issues with the one on the right? Yeah.
All the colors are so similar that from far away it all would kind of blur together.
Okay, all the colors are similar. I think that's okay, because now what they're doing with the stickers, you have to keep in mind, every year they have a new sticker. It's a new shape and a new color. Because when you drive through when you enter the parks, there's usually somebody in a booth there that checks your sticker, and they want to be able to see quickly whether you have the right sticker. So I would say for sure, don't use these colors this year, because I wouldn't use green and gold, because the sticker from last year was green and gold. Okay. So I'd use different colors. I don't have a problem with this. She put this in here, this thing. I asked her what this is, and she says it's a tent. And I thought, oh, okay, I didn't quite get that. So I guess don't have anything on your sticker that's a little like, people might say, what is that? These I think are good. They're both fishing themes. Actually, that other one was a fishing theme with Morgan. I really like that one, the fish jumping out of the water. Not sure why it wasn't picked. I like this one. The only thing I can think of is there is a fishing stamp that you can buy. It's like a fishing license. And I think this might look too much like a fishing license. So they might, at the Park Stickers Commission, say we don't want our parks just to be about fishing, but they can be about fishing. Okay. So these are two other versions of fishing that happened to be done last year. Okay. We did have a winner 2 years ago. Ruth Maka did this one, and this was chosen. It was on every car in the state, which is kind of a cool thing. I think it's to win a contest and then see your sticker on every car that goes in the park stickers. I mean, I don't know how many thousands and thousands that would be, but I'm sure it's a lot. So what I'm saying is here, just because someone did hiking doesn't mean you can't do hiking too. Here's some other versions of hiking. This one on the right was done by a Slinger student. It didn't win, but I think it's a clever design, clever idea. Here's another one. This Madeline Keeker did this one. First she did this one, and then she did a different version and did this one. I really love this one. This was done by another student of ours, which I really like. And then this one actually won 2 years ago. It wasn't from our school. And then this was another done by a student of ours. So you can, when you think about just that idea of hiking, how many different ways you can do it. I mean, whole bodies. And then one of them, that one was just these shoes close up, which I really think that was a clever idea, and she did a nice job. So hiking's an idea. This was from 2018. This was the winner in 2018. And these were all runner-ups from different schools. The one with the star happened to be from our school, which I really like. I like the stylized fox. I'm a little partial to this one. But look at some of these other ones. They're pretty strong. I think they're all very good. I think I have my favorites. I like the lighthouse. I like that one. I love the lettering going around the sun like this. That looks kind of cool. This one I really like, but I think they're a little leery about picking winter scenes, although they did pick one this year, okay? This was from 2017, and that year we had two runner-ups, this one with the star here, and this one with the toad down here on a leaf. But these were ones from around the state that were runner-up. I got some that I really like. This to me is a little plain, I think. And this one, I like this. What's the problem with this one, you think? Any ideas? I can only guess. The problem might be the fact it's a raccoon. Raccoons are kind of known to raid your garbage and bother you at camping. And I'm not sure if they'd want to have an animal on there that might not be a good representation of the state parks. Even though I like raccoons, I think they look neat. I wonder if the raccoon could have affected their decision. I don't think the people that pick these are necessarily artists. They're people that work for the state parks, so they want to pick something that promotes the state parks. Got that? So don't necessarily think that it has to be, super realistic. It can be stylized, but also they're not artists, so keep that in mind. This was from 2016. These were some of the runner-ups, and that year we had 3 runner-ups from Slinger, which I feel good about. There's 1 winner and 9 runner-ups, and Slinger had 3 of those 10 in the whole state. And literally, I called one year, they had 300 entries that year. So I think we did pretty well. These were Slinger versions here. They didn't win. I like them, but they were runner-ups. Here is from another year, 2015. These were just state runner-ups. There's some here that I don't think, if you had to pick, let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, are there any here you think aren't that good? 1 through 9? Tell me which ones you think are the weakest ones. 8? This one here? Yeah, I'm not like the color scheme. I don't know what this faded thing is in the back here. How about another one? I'm not crazy about the one here. Just that, I don't know, little hand. But I think some of these are really strong. I love this one. I like this one. I love this one, but it's more of a design. And I'm wondering if at the state parks they might think, oh, that looks too design-like. I don't know. I love it. I think that's a pretty cool looking one, even though it's more of a design than like a realistic thing. People like using silhouettes. I'm not a fan of silhouettes, but they have won before. Okay. This was from 2014. This was a winner. It was a turtle with kind of a stylized little orange shape here. These were some of the other ones. We had actually a runner-up. This one here of a person trying to catch a Frisbee. This was in 2013, and we took second that year. This girl did this stylized person sitting under a stylized tree in a stylized hill. Roasting marshmallows was number 1. Okay. The rules. These are the rules of the contest. Your design is limited to 4 colors. Okay? 4 colors, that's it. So you can't have, and that includes black and white. So if you have black as one of your colors, that's one of your colors. Now, many times kids will substitute, instead of black, they'll substitute a different color for that. Just like in your designs right now, okay? So you might have dark purple instead of black, or navy blue instead of black, okay? So limited to 4 colors, no gradients. You can't have colors that like fade from light red to dark red or something like that, okay? Must use Arial Bold 36. That's the font they want. Cannot change the wording. You can't word it any differently, okay? You have to use capital letters only. Cannot warp or stretch text. You can arch it though, which means you can put the letters in a different shape. You just can't like stretch them or make them taller, bigger, or smaller, okay? And original designs, no plagiarism. You can't find somebody else's idea and copy it, okay? You can't just take a plain photograph and put it on there, okay? Now, I said no gradients, but if you look at this sticker, this was the winner in 2010. And instead of gradients, they did the lake here, with different variations. So a light blue, a little medium blue, a darker blue, and a black. So they have 4 basically values of one color. But there's still no gradients. There's no areas that fade gradually. Okay? These were the winners of the past 6 years. The reason I'm showing you this, I would not use a sticker with this color scheme or this color scheme, because people still might have these stickers on their car. And I think they wouldn't choose something in this green and gold color scheme or the light lilac color scheme. Now, the one that won 2 years ago was from Slinger student. They actually have the right to change the colors. They changed their colors and made this green really bright. Personally, I liked hers better than the colors they chose, but they have the right to change your colors. They changed their colors a little bit. So these are the samples from the last 6 years. I would probably for sure avoid these 2 color schemes for this year because I don't think they would pick it. maybe green, a bright green, but I wouldn't worry. That's already 3 years ago. Most people don't have that many stickers on. These were winners from years ago. There's one here that I would not have even entered, this one, but it won. So I'm just telling you, it's the idea, not necessarily that it's highly realistic or super well done. This is a stylized version of a boat with a fishing rod. I don't care for it, but obviously they liked it, okay? This is the shape for this year. You're going to be working in a square with an arch top. I will give you I've got a template that has the exact size it has to be, okay? And I'll give that to you on the computer. Basically, these are the words that you can use, but you can put the words in there any way you want. You can separate the words and arrange them anywhere on the sticker. You can arch the words, and I'll show you how to do that. That's pretty easy to do in Illustrator, okay? Not going to win. I'll just show you. These are some ones that kids have done in the past, and I wouldn't have entered these because maybe I may have entered a few of them, but I knew when I entered them, they weren't going to win, okay? And you could probably guess why some of them. This one's got warped text. Besides, the picture's kind of boring, but it's got warped text. They're not going to take this one. It's not going to win. What's wrong with these? Tell me be critical of these. Tell me what might be improved. Yeah, it's supposed to be a pine cone. I just don't think it's drawn very well. It doesn't look like a pine cone. Yeah, it's pretty random looking. What about this one?
You can't really tell what's going on.
Can't tell what's going on. Do you have anything else?
The colors look really, like, I just don't get the color, because, like, the sun and the black, I just don't get that.
Yeah, I don't get it. The fact you have a silhouette with this skinny outline on the black background, you wouldn't be able to tell what this is at a distance, okay? What's wrong with this one? Yeah, Katrina?
I don't know. It just too much cartoonish.
Too cartoony. It doesn't look right. It's not drawn very well. The proportions are off. That little baby deer, I mean, his head's as big as his body. So you can do stylized, but I think it's proportionally, it still has to be somewhat accurate to what the animal might look like. Now, a mother deer and a little fawn, that's an awesome idea. It just needs to be done differently. It's a really good idea. So it's poorly drawn proportions. To me, this is just kind of boring. This, we've got a frog. It's gigantic. It's not really drawn very well. I just don't think it would be appealing for a sticker. This one, I think the animal's done really well. I'm not crazy about the color scheme. And then when I asked the girl, what kind of animal is that? She says it's a wolverine. And I said, I don't think wolverines are even in the state. She goes, yeah, I looked it up. They're in the state. I've never heard of a wolverine in the state, okay? And wolverines are pretty fierce and scary animals. I don't think they'd want to have a fierce animal on the sticker that people might be afraid of. And then also, if they are in the state, I've never heard of it. They're extremely rare. They're not going to put a wolverine on the sticker, okay? And I told her all those things, and she didn't care. She did it anyhow, and of course it didn't win. This one was a cool idea. She wanted to do the 4 seasons, like with a tree with no leaves, but I just don't think that she pulled it off. It just looks kind of funny, like, I don't know, it's a tree with half leaves and half not. The idea behind it was solid, but her execution wasn't that good. This one's just bad in so many ways, okay? What about this one? I think it's just a tree. It's just a little boring. You gotta have more than just a tree. This one, obviously the wording's not on it. I didn't hand it in, but I got a problem. It's got a black sun. That doesn't seem to make sense. It's like a black hole in space or something. This one, would I have a problem with this one? It's rare to see aliens fishing for ribbons in the state, okay? To me, it just looks goofy. I don't know. It looks like an alien. That fish looks funny. It's not well done, okay? This one here on the left, to me, it seems too disjointed. You have a bird, a paddle, and a flower. It's just like randomly throwing things on there, not quite about the color scheme. The one on the right, 2 colors, a little too boring. Just a line drawing. I don't think it's that good, okay? This one, I couldn't tell what half this stuff was. I asked the kid, what is this thing? He said it's a squirrel on a stump, okay? I'm not seeing that. To me, this is just not good. This one is terrible in so many ways. It breaks every rule that I said, and it's just not good. This obviously was a kid who just handed it in to get a grade, and they got a terrible grade too. This one is kind of cute and kind of clever, but it's a little too goofy, don't you think? You got a teddy bear with like claws on him. I don't know what that has to do with state parks. Although it's a cute drawing, I don't think it's going to win. A winter scene. Years ago, a girl did this one. I love this one. I think it's pretty cool. But I just said, you know what? I think it could win honorable mention, but I don't think they'll ever pick a winter scene because most of the activities in the parks are done in the summer, in the fall, not during the winter. And but I was wrong. This year they picked the winter scene. I had another girl that did this one, a bird on a tree in the winter. I just think they more than likely would stay away from winter scenes. But so why do you think they picked this one here? If I said these winter scenes, why might this winter scene be a little more acceptable?
Because it's a winter scene, you could do, or a winter activity you could do at the park.
Yeah, it looks more fun. It looks like something you could do in the park. Yeah.
It has like a more, I don't know, it has a different perspective than most of the other ones where like it has like the pathway and
Okay.
it's just really interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's got a landscape. It looks interesting. To me, it looks fun and alive. It makes the winter look really fun. And so I think they chose it for that reason. I like it. The only thing is I think if you're cross-country skiing, you wouldn't have a path. You'd be in the snow, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
You wouldn't have a path there. But I like it. And so I'm not saying a winter scene is bad, but keep that in mind. This person did a phoenix. What does that have to do with anything in the state? What's wrong with this one? Huh?
I can't tell what it is.
You know what it is?
No.
What's funny, the girl that was doing this one, I said, the idea is good, but I can't tell what it is. And she insisted it was easy to tell what it is. You know what it is?
No clue.
It's a girl walking towards like a rock arch of stone. There's some park that has an arch of stone here, and she's walking through the arch. This is a girl.
No.
I see.
No.
Yeah, that's what I told her. I said, it's not going to win. It doesn't look, I was nice about it, but she insisted, oh, no, this is good. And I just was like, I don't think anybody could tell what it is. Okay, this is kind of a clever idea, but I think it's hard to tell. This is supposed to be somebody using a Polaroid camera to take a picture of the woods, which, it's a clever idea, but it's once again, it's hard to tell what this is. These just could be better done. This one here needs all caps. I'm not sure if, this caterpillar on a leaf is attractive enough as an animal. You think about if you're going to use an insect, you wouldn't want to put a mosquito on there. No one's going to want a mosquito as a state forest sticker. But a butterfly maybe, or a dragonfly maybe, because those are insects that are a little more appealing. Okay? This to me just looks plagiarized. They just took a photo, made it black and white, and put that on there. And I don't think it would win for that reason. And I want you to do something that's not just... Now, you could find something like this and say, I want to do something like that based on a photo you found, but you need to make it your own, okay? This one, I don't know. This is a wolf, I guess. And to me, it looks like, what is he, blowing smoke or is he vomiting? What's he doing, okay? These are almost there. These are ones I think could have won with a little tweaking, a little adjusting, okay? I think this is a cool idea. This kid did these stylized animals in quadrants here. I love his drawings. I think they just should have been a little smoother. I'm not sure about the color scheme. I like this little, almost an Indian-like design. That could have been done neater. I think this could have been a winner if you just would have cleaned it up. I think it's very clever and very cool looking, okay? What about this one? I like this. A lot of parks have these towers. What's wrong with this one, though? What could you do differently?
The colors and making the line art cleaner.
I think so, the colors. You got a brown, dark green on a dark blue sky. Hard to tell what it is. If you squint your eyes and look at this, it's hard to see what that is. And realize this is going to be on a car, and they got to be able to tell what it is from a distance. I think it's a really cool idea. Could have been a winner, but just needed different colors, okay? These could be winners. This one's real stylized. The one on the right is supposed to be a robin looking through binoculars. I like the idea. Not quite sure. People catching a frisbee, good idea. I just think these people look a little stiff, and I'm not crazy of the silhouette ideas. I just don't like the silhouettes. They seem kind of cheesy. Smoke forming the state of Wisconsin, clever idea, but it looks kind of like it's sitting on top of the tent a little bit. Okay. This is a rock formation. I like it, but I think the colors he chose, maybe not the best. Ladybug, questionable insect. The one on the right, a little silhouette again. Birds in a nest, really cool idea. I think she just need to pull it off a little better, a little differently. They did say though, if you're choosing an animal, make sure it's native to the state of Wisconsin. Don't choose an animal you're not going to see in Wisconsin, okay? Second, make sure it's anatomically correct. If it's a cardinal, it should have the right proportions of a cardinal, okay? Not sure what kind of birds these are supposed to be, but...
I see a bunch of those birds. They're small birds that do look like that. They just don't have the colors like that.
Yeah, so I think if you had the correct colors, it might pull it off. But I think birds in a nest, great idea. This one was people windsurfing, and it's very stylized. And I like it, but I think at first glance, a lot of people were like, I don't get what this is. Are they little flames? I think if the windsurfers were bigger, maybe if you got rid of some of these bold lines here and just had the rays of the sun, I think this could have been a winner with just a little adjusting and tweaking. This one I just put in here, the girl, this was her first one, and I just said the beige and the white are too close. To me, it looks better with the blue. It's got some issues, but I think it, just the color can make a difference. These are almost there, don't you think? I think these might have won. I think the deer just needs a bit of adjusting. I love the rabbit. Just maybe have a little more detail on the rabbit. Maybe instead of the rabbit just being a plain brown, maybe it's got like 2 tones of brown on it or something. But I like the idea a lot. I love this idea of people flying a kite. I'm just not crazy of the silhouettes again, because it doesn't seem to make sense if they're out there during the day. Why are they silhouettes? Okay? If they're in front of a sunset, that would make sense. I love the squirrel on the branch. There's something about the branch, didn't quite pull it off, but I love the idea. This one I really like. This was honorable mention. Olivia Beyer did this a few years back. I like it a lot. I'd like to see maybe if she got rid of the blue lines in between here and maybe got rid of this dark blue line here. I'm not sure, but I'll just show you the steps that she took to create this. So this is what you're gonna do. First, you just need sketches. And her sketch was to do a person catching a frisbee, maybe catching a frisbee with a dog, okay? So that was her sketch. You can see it's super basic, super simple. Then she looked for visual references, and she found this person here and decided to do that type of jumping or leaping look, and then did this drawing, sort of a 2-tone black and white drawing. And at first, the background had tons of waves and a rock in the water and things on the beach. To me, it looked a little too cluttered. So she reduced it. This was her next version. Then she went from this version to this version. So she simplified it because you have to provide area for the words to be. Okay, the wording has to be on here somehow. And then she eventually went with this and did hers in, obviously it was like a light beige, a gold, a darker orange, and a dark purple. Love the colors. I think they go together well. I think it was almost there. Could have been a winner, but didn't. These could have won, should have won. I handed these in thinking they're gonna win, okay? These are ones that I think were really good. I love the colors. I think it looks great on a circle. I love this one. Really nice. That one I love. I think that could have won easily. This one I think could have won. This one I love. It's stylized, but isn't it cool looking? I like the fact that she put a border on here and then she has this cattail leaving the border. So you notice some of these have borders on them, like an area where the letters are and then the picture's inside. And some don't have that. You can do it either way. Okay? This one here I love. I think it's fantastic. She asked me, we did the arch that year, and she goes, does the arch have to be right side up with the arch on top? We looked through all the rules. It didn't say anywhere that the arch had to be like there. So she submitted this one. Did not even get honorable mention. I'm thinking they were just, because they show you the thing the other way, they weren't going to do one that was upside down. So I thought it was worth the risk. I love this one. I think it's really good, but it didn't win. This could have been a winner. I love it. This one I think is really neat too. This one's cool. Okay. That's nice. I'm not a butterfly guy, but I think it's good. This one, we weren't sure of the colors, so we submitted 2 of them in 2 different color schemes, and it did win honorable mention with this color scheme. So I guess if you like 2 color schemes, if you really can't decide, we could submit 2 color schemes, because I didn't know if they would throw her idea out because there was 2 versions of it, but they didn't. They took one of the versions. You're only allowed 1 entry per student, though. That's the problem. But I think if you could do the entry with 2 different colors, this is pretty clever. This one I think is great. The only thing I would say is you don't see tents like this at mall anymore. Nobody has a tent like this, do they? They're all those rounded dome-like tents. They just don't look like this. But this is kind of a generic, acceptable stereotype of a tent. So 2 years ago they had one, or 3 years ago they had one like this. But this was this girl's. I think the color scheme, I love it. Isn't it cool? Really done. A stylized bird on the left. I love that one. They obviously didn't. The one on the right I love with the owl, but that wasn't chosen either. And paddleboarding is pretty big, a neat activity in the state. I thought this could have won. This is kind of a stylized deer with a stylized background. Very stylized deer. I love this drawing, but this is where I wonder if, because most of the people on the board are not artists, might say, that doesn't look real enough for me. But I personally like this one. Okay. I like this one. I think that's a good one. Okay. Not sure about the green back there, but I like it. This, I think, is pretty clever, isn't it? It shows all the activities, but it does it in kind of a cool way with the paddles, organizing these quadrants. This one's simple, but I like it. This is a good one too. So what you need to do is, first of all, real quick, just tell me the categories that you saw. What are some categories? Give me a category, quick. Animals. So if you're going to do animals, it's got to be something that is in the state, okay? And probably not a domestic animal like a dog or a cow, okay? What's that? Activities would be another one, okay? So I would write those down. Animals, activities. So think about activities that would promote the state park. And you could probably come up with a list of activities that people would do in the park. Hiking, fishing, swimming, playing, running, biking, okay? All the kinds of things that might be going on in the park, okay? What's another category?
Just like the scenery.
Scenery, landscapes. Okay? Another category might be foliage. By foliage, I mean plant life. Okay? And by animals, there's subcategories in animals. There's birds, there's mammals, there's insects. Think of there's fish. So there's lots of categories of animals. Just make sure they're Wisconsin animals. Okay? And then, so you've got activities, landscapes, foliage, animals. And then you can use combinations of any of those. Like an activity in a landscape. Like the guy was skiing and you could see the landscape. Okay? So any combinations of those. So really the hardest part of this assignment is coming up with the idea.